Okay, I'm here with Michael Genet. Basically, Michael, would you like to tell the Unheard Voices audience who you are?
Well, Michael Genet, born, raised in Washington, D.C. Been in the business about 35 years now. Started out as an actor. Went to school up in New York, and I was on Broadway in the original production of A Few Good Men back in 1990, 1991. And I had a small role. That I was understudying the big role, which I took over later in the run. But early on, so I had a lot of offstage time, so I would sit on the stairwell in between my going on and off stage, and I would jot down these notes. And I got up every morning at 5 a.m. I had a little walk-in closet, and I threw everything out, a little typewriter there, and I would write all day until a half-hour call for the show the next day. And 8 weeks later, I had my first script that got selected to Sundance and gave me a writing career. So that's kind of how.
So would you say that was by chance, or was something like it was just something second nature, or just?
Oh no, it wasn't second. Well, it wasn't second nature, no, because I never wanted to be a writer. I mean, if you had told me 2 days prior to me doing that that I was going to be a writer, I would have laughed at you. I was always an actor. So by chance, no. I mean, we made it. You know, I made a definitive decision. Okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try this. I thought I had something inside that I wanted to say. And it turned out that, you know, I found my voice kind of quickly. August Wilson was a mentor of mine.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, he and I would talk, and I mean, we stood in the doorway of a men's room at 2 o'clock in the morning, because we were at a conference where I was an actor in the company, and one of his plays was being done, and I wasn't actually working on his play. But
would you like to tell the audience who's actually August?
Well, August Wilson. August Wilson is, well, in my opinion, August Wilson is the greatest American playwright we've ever produced. You can make the argument that he's one of the greatest, and that's fine. I mean, he's the writer who wrote Fences, Joe Turner's Come and Gone. He wrote Jitney, which is going to be done here next, I believe. He wrote a 10-cycle play, 10-play canon of the African American experience that spanned each decade from 1900 to 2000. And he passed away, 4 years ago? I was doing a soldier's play off Broadway when they came up to us right after the show and said August had just passed. I mean, he had been battling it, you know, for a long time. But he was a mentor of mine, and it was because of being able to talk to him and him giving me words of advice or encouragement and things like that, and some of the other great people that I've come across. So I was able to just sit down and say, okay, let me see if I can do this. You know, and you know, I've got a little writing career that helps me. I'm doing more writing now than I am acting. I mean, this last year I've been writing feverishly, and I've got a few projects that are, you know, about to blow up. I mean, I got a film that's set up now over at ATO Pictures. ATO is the film company that's Dave Matthews of the Dave Matthews Band. It's his film company, and they asked me to come in and adopt a short story by the British novelist Joanne Harris. Joanne Harris is the woman who wrote the novel Chocolat that they made the movie of with Johnny Depp and Juliette Binoche. So I've got a film. I've got that script. This is called The Cape Island Affair. That's over there that they're attaching a director to now. And I got some other projects that are on the docket and you know, agencies are pushing that. And so, you know, great things are about to happen from a writing standpoint.
Yeah. That was wonderful. Yeah. So, but what do you say? Acting is definitely your first love, or?
Acting was my first love for sure. I mean, it's, you know, it's acting. I mean, acting for me was almost like being an athlete. I was an athlete in school, and you know,
what position you played?
I was baseball. I was third base, shortstop, second base. I was very good. I was very good. And if I had to make the choice again, I would have continued to pursue the baseball career and maybe make those big millions of dollars. But I decided that I was going to go into the arts world, and I forsook the baseball thing, because I was 120 pounds dripping wet at that point in time, and I figured I'm never going to hit a home run over Yankee Stadium.
Right.
You know. So I went, but if I knew then what I know now, that the brothers are making just millions of dollars just sitting on the bench, man. Oh,
don't make no sense, does it?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So also, I see that you did the television. Was in Tyler Perry House of Pain.
I did 2 episodes with Tyler Perry.
How did you enjoy that experience?
It was a good experience. Tyler, well, you have to call him Mr. Perry.
Okay.
When you're on set down there, he makes everyone call him Mr. Perry. But it was a very pleasant experience. I love Atlanta anyway. Mm-hmm. He's an amazing cat, man. Because I mean, he directs every episode of those shows. I don't know if this dude he must have like cloned himself about 4 or 5 times because he's doing every episode. You know, he's writing this, he's directing movies. Mm-hmm. He works really fast. Right. He's no nonsense, man. I mean, you know.
Well, Michael, how do you get yourself? You're on stage with Tyler Perry, and he got this character.
Right.
And the character. When I look at that character, I mean, I can't help but to laugh. So, how did you be able to perform with him?
Well,
without
those episodes, he wasn't Medea in those episodes, thankfully, because I may not have been able to keep a straight face either. He was directing, and his voice would come his voice would come over what they call the God mic. All of a sudden, you hear a voice. Okay, now do this, blah blah blah. I mean, he was there and everything, but he wasn't Medea. So I was just dealing with the rest of the cast, and they were really lovely people and very very much embracing. Because it's hard when you have someone else coming into a company that's already established. Right. And I was only doing 2 episodes, so but they took me in right away and made me one of the company, and it was a great time. I'd love to work with them again.
Yeah. I know one of the older things that you had did was All My Children and As the World Turns.
Did a lot of All My Children. I did As the World Turns for 7 years.
Well, what part did you play in All My Children?
I played a bunch of roles. I don't even remember now. I was one of the main people's lawyer. I was one of the main people's pilot. I was the doctor. I came in and out with different characters on All My Children. But on As the World Turns, I was Lamar Griffin. Right. I was Jessica's brother.
That's right.
And that was a really nice run.
Like I said, I went back and I looked at the videos, and I said, this, Michael's a very powerful actor.
Thank you.
I said to myself, because I'm a soap opera fan all the way.
Right.
And when he was doing it was at a time where they was also looking at, it was an interracial couple. That was Tamara Toomey, who's on Law and Order SVU now, and she played my sister and Jessica. Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal because they were testing those waters to see how that relationship was going to work. Exactly.
And the viewers accepted it.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I think they were more mad at you because I think they interrupted us.
Yeah, they had me playing the racist brother, and I was like,
they said, look, you're trying to do this. He said, you ain't gonna have it.
And they never gave me a love interest. I was like, how come Lamar can't get no love on this show? I was always angry.
Yeah, so, and also I see some of the films She Hate Me by Spike Lee.
I wrote that.
You wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I wrote that. I wrote that, me and Spike. I wrote it. Spike came in and did some of the stuff too, but I wrote that for him.
Well, what made you, how did you come up with the concept? What was on your mind?
Well,
what was on your mind?
I gotta be honest with y'all. That concept, the basic premise of that concept, I never would have come up with. Spike was interested in, he had just cast me in 25th Hour, and we had the same agent at the time, and they put us in a room together because he was interested in my other film, Talk to Me. Okay. But the producers had already settled on a different director, and so Spike said, well, okay, I can't have that one. This is what I'm interested in. I said, what's that? And he said, lesbians who want to become mothers are using turkey bases to get pregnant. And I sat there my mouth fell to the floor, and I didn't know what to say. And yet I said to myself, I was smart. I said to myself, okay, Spike Lee has just opened the door and invited you to walk in.
That's right.
Come up with a story. So I said to him, I said, Spike, give me a week and I will give you a story. Now this was at the time when M-Clone and Enron was going down. Martha Stewart was being investigated for insider trading.
Okay.
I had an idea floating around in my head for about 6 months already about what would happen if a brother ran into an Italian sister on the street and they hit it off and started becoming lovers and everything, only to find out after they fell in love that her father was the head of one of the 5 crime families. I had never done anything with that storyline, so I incorporated that Enron stuff in with the lesbian storyline that he wanted to do, and I went back to him and said, okay, this is what I have. He said, run it down to me. So I run down just a few minutes of my idea, and he said, ooh, I like that. Give me some more. I said, I ain't no more. I'll come back with some more tomorrow. So I went back the next day and I kept giving him more, and after the end, he said, okay, I want you to write the treatment. I was like, what? I wrote the treatment.
Okay, when you say write the treatment.
Treatment is an outline of the movie, and you break it down into 3 acts. So act 1 will be this, act 1 is going to be this, act 3 is going to be this, and it's, you know, treatment can be 1 page, 4 pages, 15, however you want to do it.
Okay.
I gave him, I don't know, I think the treatment I gave him was probably about 12, 15 pages, but I gave it to him on our lunch break on the set, and we were sitting on the sidewalk. After, you know, for filming, and he read the treatment right then and there. He read the treatment like that. Then he turns to me and says, "Okay, I want you to write it." I was like, "You
that
serious?"
must have blew your mind right
well,
there.
it did, because it doesn't work that way. It never works that way. And when I wrote the script, we wrapped that film. We wrapped 25th Hour, I think, the end of September or something like that. It was still warm. I gave him the script the day before Thanksgiving. And we finished She'd Hate Me a year later. We finished filming a year. It never goes like that. It never goes like Spike gets the mind to do something, it goes like this. He does it. He doesn't let anything or anybody get in his way. He's amazing.
That's amazing.
He's amazing.
Because the product was excellent.
Yeah, well,
Excellent.
you know, it was fun to work with him. I mean, I love the brother. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I love the brother, and we worked well together, both on 25th Hour and She Hate Me. So yeah, that's how that went down. Yeah,
That's wonderful. And I also see you won the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Writing.
Yeah, for Talk to Me. For Talk to Me. Yeah, well, Talk to Me is a special piece. I mean, I don't know if you know the history of Talk to Me. Talk to Me. Did you see Talk to Me?
No, I didn't see Talk to Me.
Okay. Well, Talk to Me is actually the story of my father. The story is about this guy Dewey Hughes and this guy Peter, this convict Peter Green. And my father ran into this. My father was visiting a relative in jail, his brother in jail back in the 60s. My father was a radio exec at a radio station in Washington, D.C. called WOL, AM station. And it was one of the most popular soul stations in Washington. And he was there, and this convict came up to him when he was visiting his brother and said, "Yo, man, I hear you a radio man, I want you to put me on the air." And my father was like, yeah, right. And the guy kept hitting him up. "No, seriously, dog, I am, you know." And dude, my father said, "Okay, fine. All right, look, just humor him. When you get out, you know, look me up, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, when do you get out?" And Petey said, 10 years.
Oh, no.
But 6 months later, Petey showed up at the station's door.
Wow.
And kind of forced my father's hand, because he wouldn't go away. He picketed outside the station until they gave him a shot. Wow. And they finally gave in and put Petey on the air with my father in the studio with him.
Right.
And that morning, they became the #1 radio show in Washington for the next 25 years.
Wow. It was just destined.
It was destined, and it so much so that Dr. King was assassinated during that time. It was obviously in '68, but that was during their run.
Right.
They put Petey and Dewey on my father on the air that night when Dr. King was assassinated, because D.C. was burning.
Oh yeah.
The riots were going down. D.C. was burning. Petey got on with my father engineering his show and squashed the riots. He got the people to stop rioting.
Calm them down.
And then they brought James Brown in.
Okay.
And James Brown put on a free concert in Georgetown the next day, and that's what helped cool everything out and saved. I mean, as much they got as the businesses that got burned, it saved a whole lot of businesses from getting totally destroyed. So my father is one of the main characters. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays my father. Don Cheadle plays Petey Green in that film.
Oh, okay.
So they came to me and said, we want to do this movie, and I was like, who's gonna want to see this? This is a quintessential Washington D.C. story. You think America's gonna want to go? But they said, hey, let's give it a shot. So I wrote it. I wrote it right after 9/11. Right after 9/11 hit, I wrote it that October. I finished it right after Christmas Day. I gave the script in right after New Year's Day, that January, and it sold like that. And boom.
So, Michael, when you're actually going through your process of writing, is it like a continuous thing where, like, you get into your zone and it's like, bam, you're just constantly writing? Or is it the type of thing where you just sit down and it comes to your mind a good thought, then you... what is your process like?
There are writers who write every single day. I'm not one of those writers. I write when I have a story to tell. Now, that happens to be most of the time. But I'm kind of like a jazz musician or a dancer who's listening for the sounds going with new steps. Like Gregory Hines used to always talk about how if you walk down the street and you hear a car run over a manhole cover, or something about the way that manhole cover hits when the wheel runs over it, that's a tap sequence. And he would come up with a tap sequence based off of that. Well, I'm the same way. If I see a mother walking down the street and you hear a conversation between her and her child, there's something in the conversation that strikes a chord, and if you channel to the universe, it gives you an idea. Well, you see a news clipping go across the screen on TV. I don't do the news story, but there's something about someone's pain, a mother crying because her child was shot down, or someone's being evicted. It stirs something inside of you, and the creator, God, gives me the stories, man. I mean, I'm not in charge of this. I'm tuned into the universe, and God gives me the stories. When Michael Jackson was talking about the tragedy of how one of the reasons why he didn't sleep much, because he was afraid. He was afraid if he went to sleep, he said, God's going to give the musical, the music, the songs. He's going to give him the Prince, because I'm going to be asleep. That's why he was fighting going to sleep. Now, it sounds like a crazy statement, but when he said it, I totally knew what he meant.
School me.
Well, I mean, he went the extreme with that, but you have to be in the message there is you got to be open. Your heart has to be open. Your mind has to be open to receive this stuff. I mean, and it's going to come in a way that no one's going to come to you and say, okay, here's the idea.
Right.
But it's going to be something that you're sitting down at the table, and the people at the table next to you, they're talking, and it's something that someone says. It could be one word within that conversation, or it could be a phrase, or it could be the way someone laughs, or it could be a woman walks in and she has on a beautiful summer dress, and it just sparks something inside of you.
Right.
Or you can hear a mother be cruel to her child, or a father be cruel to his woman, and it just strikes something inside of you, and it gives you a story, But that's how because I mean, how does Stevie Wonder come up with the brilliance that he does? Elton John, I mean, Michael Jackson. Where did these tunes come from? Where did Duke Ellington come up with "Sophisticated Lady"? Although I mean, he did the arrangement, but I mean, where does he come up with all this stuff?
That's right.
4 O'Clock Jump, the A Train. I mean, the classic stuff. It comes from someplace else. I mean, we are the vessels.
That's right.
So I write when I have something to say. And thankfully, so far, that's been most of the time. And like I said, this last year, I've been writing. I've been on a tear. I got a couple TV things that I'm pushing now, and two new screenplays, and that are going to go down. And I'm up for some really big projects right now that I can't talk about. But I mean,
well, I want to be in it.
Well, okay. That's a possibility. But I'm just saying, I mean, you just have to be open. It's like this gray day. This is a gray day. It's raining. For y'all can't see this. It's raining outside. It's gray. The weather's pattern's about to change. It's about to get cold. It's going to drop 20 degrees tonight. But there's something beautiful about this cloud cover that inspires me. I'm listening.
So, I know you're doing the play Genet, right?
No, I'm doing HONK.
HONK.
We're doing HONK in here now.
Okay, you're doing HONK.
Right.
So, would you tell the Unheard Voices audience what is HONK, and you know, a little bit about you know, what it's about?
Well, HONK is, well, first off, we're sitting here at the Two River Theater Company in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's a beautiful theater, and one that I must tell you, I got off the train and saw this theater, and I was like, whoa, because it comes out of nowhere. You just wouldn't think that a theater this beautiful would be, you know, in Red Bank, New Jersey. I mean, I just, you know, it's a beautiful theater. HONK is an adaptation of one of the great classic stories of all time, from the classic storyteller Hans Christian Andersen's The Ugly Duckling.
Oh, okay.
And it's a musical, and it is very pertinent to today's society of kids bullying, people being showing inequality to anyone that's different than them, the lesbian and gay community having to fight for their rights, you know, interracial. I mean, we got that horrible story about that church. I forgot exactly where it was now. Just the other day, that banned interracial couples from even attending their church. You know, I mean, just crazy. So, well, HONK deals with all of that, but it's within the milieu of this classic children's tale. Right. If you look different than the rest, and they shun you, they want to discard you, and HONK shines a light on that. And I mean, it touches the heart of children, but adults that come to this thing are in tears and applauding too. It's a wonderful story, and it's a wonderful theater. They've gone all out to make this production top rate, and I can tell you we're busting our booties right now, because technically it's a very difficult show to pull off. Okay. I mean, just we're fighting the technical aspects right now, trying to get everything smooth. But I'm having a really good time. It's a great bunch of people here. I must say, they treat you really well here. They put you up in nice accommodations. The community seems really nice. And I live in New York City, and I live in Times Square. So coming from the hustle and bustle there, it's really nice to be down here and see the manners and the mannerisms of people who are a little take life a little slower, have a little more politeness to them when they greet you. You know, I mean, because New York is like rough and rough, and you know.
I get to go into New York sometimes, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, it's a great place. I mean, it's a great place, but it's nice to say, okay, this is, when you come here, you realize what politicians are talking about. This is America right now.
That's right.
You
know, it's just so wonderful, because Unheard Voices is working closely with the Two River Theater, and you know, it's just great just to have the opportunity, you know, to even meet you. Well,
you all should come out and see this show. You should see Genet when it comes up, and I don't know everything else that's on their season, but this is a great theater, and I'm serious. This community, to have a theater like this here to serve it, don't take it for granted, because it is a miracle that a place like this exists, and if you don't support it, then the miracle will go away. And I can tell you that I saw the audience that was here earlier today for the show we did. Cross-section, black, white, Hispanic, young, older. It's a joyful thing to see people coming, congregating, and putting aside all differences and just being a part of an experience like this. And it's great to have a place like this that gives you that opportunity.
Oh, definitely.
You know, so you don't have to go to New York to see a Broadway show. You can come right here. You know?
We get all the great actors right here.
Yeah, you got some great talent in this show.
That's right.
Great talent. You know.
And so what would you tell somebody, you know, that's trying to pursue a career in acting and writing?
You want me to be truthful?
I want you to be for real.
You want the politically correct thing, you want the truth.
I want you to be for real.
Right, here's the truth, and this is for the young folks out there and the parents of young folks who are thinking about maybe coming to the show. If it's something that you have to do, and by that I mean you can't find any other career path in which to take that you will be happy. If you can't become a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or whatever, scientist or anything, sanitation worker, if you can't be happy doing something else, then this is where you should be. But if you can find something else in this world that you would be happy doing, social work, you know, sports management, you know, physical therapy, anything. If you can find something else that you can be happy at, you should do that, because this industry is entirely too hard to be coming into if you're not prepared to be told no 1,000,000 times before you get that first yes. If you're not prepared to put on that rhinoceros skin and be able to fend off all the negativity that comes your way, if you're not prepared to be scrounging around trying to figure out where December rent is coming from, if you got a family, how you going to get your kids that Christmas present that they want. And it's a hard game, and it's getting harder all the time. It's not when I started off. I mean, you could call up an agent and say, okay, I'm in town, I did such and such and such, I'd like to meet you and maybe talk about some representation. And they would say, okay, come on over. Can't do that anymore. You almost have to have a Tony Award or an Emmy Award or an Academy Award nomination by your name for them to even take the call. To bring, the game has just changed. It's just monumentally difficult. Now, again, that being said, if it's something you really have to do in your heart that you can't be happy and you really called and you know the Creator's got this thing and He's blessed you with an ability, then by all means you should do that and don't look back. Do it and don't look back, because this is what feeds your soul, and you won't be happy in anything else if that's who you are. You know, but don't fool yourself. It's like I will never be able to dunk a basketball over some dude that's 6'10". Okay, and I had a pretty, above average street game, but I knew that I was never going to be Michael Jordan. So it would be stupid for me to sit there and say I'm going NBA because it wasn't going to happen.
Exactly.
And I just try to tell people all the time. I tell my kids, do not fool yourself. This game, you can't fool yourself. You can't fool yourself when you're trying to do something spectacular, special. And don't settle for mediocrity, because if you're going to come into this game, mediocrity, well, we celebrate mediocrity because we're buying mediocrity all the time. But the ones who really are able to stay in the game, like I ask young people all the time, what do you want? You want a 5-year career or you want a 50-year career? Because if you want a 5-year career, we can do that in a heartbeat. We can go paint your hair purple or something. We can get you in a certain type of garb. You can come up with a rap tune, put it out there that you can market yourself, and we can get you a 5-year career. But if you want to sustain it and be here for 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 years, there's some things you have to do that you cannot short step on. There's no shortcuts. And that's going to mean you have to suffer along the ways too. Because for every Will Smith out there, there's 2 million people who didn't make it like Will Smith. I mean, as great as Will Smith is, and Will worked his way up. Denzel, and I've worked with Denzel, but there's only one of those cats. And they're not the only ones with enormous talent.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people with enormous talent who are just struggling to get by month to month, year to year, and continue to do their craft. If you want to be a movie star, that's a different thing. If you want to be a working artist, a working actor, there's things you have to do, and sacrifices you have to make. And so I'm not trying to put a damper on it. This is a gorgeous business, but it's not as glamorous as everybody says. There's really nothing glamorous about being on the road. Trust me. I mean, living out of a suitcase, man. At the first couple times it's cool, but
But you know that the people, they all they see is the final.
I know.
Product, the glam.
Okay, but here's the other side.
That's what
you come to see that. What you don't see, when I see you in the audience and you're applauding, you with your family, your loved ones, kids, your lover, whatever, you all go home to your family, your loved ones, your lover. If we're on the road, for the most part, we go back to an empty apartment or hotel room that they give us, and we're there by ourselves until the cycle repeats itself the next day. That's what being on the road really is all about. It's not about all this. Anybody popping glasses of champagne all the time. I mean, that's sometime thing.
Most people think, must be partying like a rock star.
Well, you may be partying when you're 25, but
it never ends.
But the party got to end sometime.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And if you want to stay in the game, you better not party too hard because you won't be able to do your gig. Right?
That's right.
So actually, we were talking about HONK, and how did you say you got involved with HONK again?
Oh, I got called in. They just said, hey, they're looking for someone for this show. Would you like to come in and meet the director? I said, sure. I mean, because we're in a recession now, brother. I'm writing. The reality was for me is I had just finished a new TV script. I just finished a new film script, and the time period that this show was going to take place coincided with when Hollywood is shutting down for the holiday.
Oh, okay.
So it was a perfect time for me to say, okay, done the writing. Let me go do a little acting right now. Fits right into the schedule. And when this is over, I'm back to the writing grind. You know, because like I said, I got a couple of hot properties, but this fit into the thing. And like I said, for me, it's always good for me to be able to keep my hand in it. And I hadn't been on stage in a while. I mean, I'd done some film stuff and some TV stuff, but I hadn't been on stage in a while. And I wanted to get back on stage. You know, yeah. And it was. And I liked the director. And the director came and met with me, and he was a great guy, Matt Pfeiffer. He came and met with me. We had lunch, and when he extended himself like that, I was like, wow. And he was a real down brother, you know, a guy's guy. You know, just talk. It wasn't just all about, you know, show business and bourgeois stuff. We were just talking as real people.
Exactly.
Like I said, yeah, I can hang with this cat. You know.
And so, what character are you actually playing?
Well, I'm playing the turkey.
No.
And I'm playing the bullfrog, and the bullfrog number is kicking my booty. Okay. And if I were 3 years older than I am now, I wouldn't be able to do the bullfrog because this number is hard. And a couple other roles. I mean, because we're all doubling up on some other roles. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and you know, it's a good weight loss program in there too.
Well, running got you going on.
Man, I'm drenched in sweat. You know.
That is wonderful.
But y'all should come down. Come on down, see this show.
I think we're planning on seeing the show. I think that's on Saturday. This Saturday coming up.
You're coming over tonight?
Yeah, we're coming to open tonight.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that way we can invite our families.
We're going to go over to the party that we're not supposed to have and show. We're going over to the party, right?
Yeah, we'll go to the party
so that'll be the glamorous moment in time. See, opening night is when it's glamorous. It's the night after opening night that it just gets to be back into, you know. Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I can't, you know, like I said, I can't wait, you know, to see you in action. And like I said, when I first got the project to come in to interview you, and I'm going over the computer, I said, I know him. And I just went on and said, oh yeah. So it's like, you know, it's really a pleasure.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to sit with you. You know, it's been a long road, and it's been a lot of hard times with it. But I've always known that this is what the Creator has wanted me to do.
Exactly.
I wanted when I was younger. I wanted to be a doctor, and would have made a good doctor. I have one little problem though. I don't like blood. Okay, so like my daughter, you know, and I didn't. As for being an attorney, I'd have been a great attorney, but I hate research. You know, and most of the stuff is research. It's not the courtroom stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me find what I'm all about. And when I got into this, I felt at home. And when you feel at home, you don't mind struggling for something that you have a passion for.
All I know is when I went back and I saw a lot of your videos on YouTube, I just saw how like natural you are and the roles that you play, and I could just see. I mean, I saw the love that you have for each part that you was playing. So I just thought that I said, wow, this is definitely something that this brother is really good at. And you know, some people can want to act but they can't do it. But you are excellent at what you do.
Well, no, and I could not be a teacher. I tried it. I was a teacher for a year, and I sucked at it. Okay.
And what were you teaching?
I was teaching adult education in Virginia. I was in between gigs. I couldn't get a gig.
Right.
And I had a friend who said, "Hey, I can get you a gig as a teaching." I said, "Okay." I took it. But teaching is an art form.
Right.
I mean, great teachers, they're artists, and I didn't have that skill. You know, and there are other skills, and many skills that I don't have. Anything to do with math, you know, I'm gonna struggle with. I mean, and I'm good at math. I can get, but I'm not. You know what I mean. So this is where I'm good at. I'm good with coming. I'm a storyteller, and I'm an artist. I'm an actor. I'm a singer. This is where my comfort zone. This is where I'm at home. So I was fortunate enough to find that, but I was also smart enough to realize that this was a gift, and I honored it.
Right,
You know, I honored the gift that the Creator gave me.
Exactly.
I didn't take it for granted because it takes work. It's not about. I mean, there's a saying. How's it go? Something we're starting. The champion will always, the challenger will always beat the champion if the champion is not working hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, it's not exactly the same, but it's.
But I understand.
The person who's the champion. If the champion is not working hard, that challenger who's working hard will always beat the champion. Okay, so the fact that you've been given a gift, that's only one part of it.
Exactly.
And you have to honor it and keep honing it. You know, and the second that you get ripe, as my mother would always tell me, you know, that's when you fall off the vine. You know, so don't get ripe. You know, keep growing. Because when you get ripe, there's only one other thing left for you to do.
Exactly.
Fall off the vine and die. So
basically, what you're saying, you always got to have that thirst.
Yeah. Oh, here it was. Hard work always beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. That's it. And I love that statement because it's true. You know, and sometimes I slack. I'm like, you know, I'm not working hard enough. You know, I'm not working hard enough. I remember Karl Malone, the great Karl Malone, basketball player. Yeah. His mother said to him, "I will whoop your behind. It's okay if you lose a game, but if I ever see you not working hard, you will have to answer to me." And to hear his mother say that to him, lit a fire in him, and that's why he was what he was, as great as he was. And I thought, wow, that's a heck of a statement. You know, it's okay because no one wins all the time. Tiger Woods doesn't even win all the time. Okay, but if you don't work hard, that's when you are at fault.
Exactly. So right. So, well, like I said, we're here at Unheard Voices with Michael Genet.
Come on down, see the show, support this theater. It's in your community. If you don't, it will go away, and you will be losing something truly great.
And I want to thank you very much for taking the time out, Mike.
My pleasure, man.
And to kick it with Unheard Voices.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see you this Saturday.
All right.
So I can give you some good laughs.
Yeah. Come see the turkey and the bullfrog. All right.